Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be creating a really simple set and we're going to incorporate a full wrap decal. I'm going to show you a really easy way on how to apply that with little to no effort. We're going to create a set of press-ons on that shape short coffin, which is my go-to, and then we're going to incorporate dip liquids to start out with. So we're using dip powders from BrightSpot Nails. I used some dip powders a few weeks ago here on my channel and we originally tried them with the gel method. This time I wanted to switch it up and see how they perform with the dip liquids. So that is what we're doing today. We're going to start off with the dip liquids and we're starting off with the lightest color first, and then we're going to work our way through till we get to this really beautiful, just gorgeous blue called Midnights. So I started out with a little bit of that dip base and we went ahead and dipped it right into that jar. Right off the bat, we have this beautiful, just like icy light shimmer coverage. I really like this color. I feel like it's really beautiful and it's just like that perfect pop of just like delicate sparkle, still giving us like that icy effect, because this color palette that we're working with today, it's kind of gearing us into transitioning out of winter, kind of dabbling our toes into spring. I just feel like this is a very just overall delicate, beautiful color palette. We're going to be playing with these beautiful whites. We're going to play with a really beautiful pink, and then we're going to pull in a little touch of blue, and wait till you see all these colors in action. They are really beautiful. And if you're interested in my first impression with Bright Spots Nails, I will link that video at the end so you can definitely check that out, because we used a really awesome yellow and I was completely blown away by the color payoff on that first video, that I was really excited to see how these colors performed. So for this color in particular, I only did two coats of the Ice Dancer because I still wanted it to have just like that icy effect, so I didn't want to build it up too much. Now for this nail, we're dipping into one coat of the White Glow. I just wanted a very light wash over this nail because we're going to end up doing a full coverage decal on here, and I wanted it a very light background because I wanted the decal, once you see the decal you'll understand where I'm coming from, but I wanted it to look like a kind of like a watercolor wash over it. So that's why I did not want to build up this color. I just wanted a very light layer of that glow white. So this is the perfect background that I was looking for. It's very buildable. I really like the coverage that we're getting with the dip liquids. I've also used that with the gel method as well, and it was fantastic. We're moving on to the next color called In the Nude, and this name could not be more perfect for this color because it is the perfect, just like nudie pink. And this color right here, it is everything. So I'm doing a very thin layer of that dip base and we're dipping right into the jar. When you are making press-ons, if you want a little bit more wiggle room, you could always dump out the powder into a cupcake liner. That will help prevent from like accidentally bumping into the jar. But here's the coverage that we're working with. It is beautiful. At first, it's like a very just light, like a dusty rose, kind of like a rose quartz, was just like that first color. But I'm really liking the coverage. There's no like splotchy areas or anything like that. We have a really good, clean, just beautiful coverage right off the bat. And I am dusting off right away. So the liquids that I'm using are from Sparkle & Co. And this has been my main dip liquid for a really long time now based on the viscosity. It's a very thin formula, which is perfect if you're making press-ons because it's going to help reduce bulk. And the thinner you can get with your application when it comes to the dip base, the less filing and buffing you're going to have, and it's going to help really keep the shape of the nail. A couple other things that are going to help keep the shape of the nail as well is after you go ahead and dip, make sure you are pressing everything down, just really making sure you are keeping that shape of the nail. It's very important, especially if you are making a press-on. You really want to just keep that structure as best as you can to really cut down on your filing and buffing. So right here, I'm just taking that time and making sure everything is completely flat. But I'm loving this coverage that we're getting with the second coat. I feel like this color right here, it's a very delicate color. And across the board, all the colors that we are using today are just great colors to have in your collection because you're going to be able to do so many different things with it. And just having like that perfect neutral nudie pink in your collection is fantastic. So we're going to build this up just a little bit more. I was perfectly content with how it looked with two coats, but I was really curious to see what it would look like with three. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to finish up this set with three coats of this color, and then when we get into Midnights, we're going to do three coats as well, so you can really see the difference of that color payoff. I will say this color right here would be a great all over color. Wedding season's coming up, spring's coming up. If you like doing nail art, I feel like this is a great background for just like that base color and then enhancing it with nail art or even doing some decals over it. You could do so many things with this color. I really think it's beautiful. Even like a pink French tip. This right here would be like the ideal color for that because it's so buildable. So right now we dusted, or we pressed everything down, and then we're just gonna go ahead and just dust everything off. That was in real time. I did not wait um in between each coat. I just went ahead and dusted off because these dip liquids are more on like the faster dry time. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate this color on one more nail, and then we're going to finish up with Midnight. So enough chit chat. Let's dive into the rest of these beautiful colors so you can see them in action, and then I'm going to pop back in just a few moments.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. Eyes blue like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
All right, so we're just getting into that second coat here of Midnights, and I was completely blown away. Look at the brush. We have no staining. A lot of times when you are playing with these really dark colors, you tend to get some staining on your brush, and I'm not experiencing any of that. So I was definitely blown away by this color right here.
It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out. So try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at
All right, now that we're done with Midnights, we're going to go ahead and give everything a little dust, and then we're going to go in with the activator to bring these colors to life. So I'm going to start off with the lighter color first and then work my way to the darker color. This is really important, especially because I did not clear encapsulate. So if I do get any of that color on my brush, I can go ahead and clean up that brush before I go into the next color. plus I'm risking getting any of that blue into those lighter colors. You can definitely do a layer of clear encapsulate if you are looking to build up strength or if you are wanting to protect those colors, but I wanted, since this is like a new to me color, I always like to test out my filing and buffing without that layer of clear, especially if there's not a lot of glitter in it, so I can kind of see how these powders perform. So filing and buffing is super easy. So I let that activator set on the nails for about 3 minutes just to harden. And then filing and buffing, since we did take that extra time to press everything down, we also did very thin layers of that dip base. Filing and buffing, I'm just cleaning up the shape a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with the buffer. Now I'm not experiencing any of the color fading. I don't see any like permanent like white streaking in here or anything like that when I'm going in with the file or the buffing. I will say I did not run into any issues when I did the filing and buffing with the gel method either. I feel like these are really good powders when it comes to filing and buffing. It's just very minimal. So I went ahead and dusted off, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and activate this nail right away. And this is when the color comes back to life. We get rid of any of those harsh filing and buffing lines, and this color is just everything. So real quick, I wanted to keep in here the filing and buffing on this beautiful dark blue color, because sometimes when you're working with darker colors that have like this pearl finish to it, it can definitely distort the color a little bit, especially if you do not have that layer of protection of the clear. So right now we clean up the shape, and I'm going pretty heavy-handedly here on that buffer, and I'm looking at the end of the buffer, and I do not see too much color coming off, and the color is not fading or anything like that. The real indicator is going to be when we activate, then we're really going to see how that performed without that layer of clear. So we're just going to dust off, and then we're going to go ahead and hit it with that activator. And right here we still have that beautiful just like light pearl shine coming through, and everything looks the same. It did not look like we changed the outcome of that color without that layer of clear. It's a very beautiful color and definitely a must have in my opinion. All right, so now we're going to go ahead. I did the rest of the filing and buffing off camera. And now it's time to add a decal sheet. So the hardest part was to pick out which one we wanted to do. Before we get started with the decal sheet, we're going to do a very thin layer of transfer foil glue. And if you're looking for a HEMA-free option, I will link that in the description box below. You just apply it like you would your gel base or gel top coat and cure for a full 60 seconds. Now I'm placing the decal in room temperature water for about 15 seconds, and I'm going to make sure I am wiping any extra water off the decal. This is a very important step. And then we're going to go ahead and gently, just right here, the back comes off really easy. And then we're going to take another lint-free wipe and just make sure we are dabbing off all that extra water. I like to use a jelly stamper so I can kind of line it up where I want that decal to kind of start. And now we have this full coverage decal on the nail. So I'm just slowly kind of moving it around, and then if there's any lines or anything like that that are really noticeable, I'm just going to carefully just pull that decal up. And then to remove all this extra decal, we're just going to go ahead and file it off. So the reason why I like to use that transfer foil glue, because once you get this decal exactly where you want it, it is not going to move. And then to remove all this extra decal, you just have to just gently file it off to clean it up. And that's all you need to do. And I like this way because I rather have more decal hanging off the nail than having not enough decal. But I just feel like the transfer foil glue, especially when you're working with a full coverage decal nail wrap like right here, is definitely a game changer because it makes it just for like a flawless finish. And I just feel like the cleanup is really easy. So then once you're done filing all that extra decal off, I'm going to go ahead and get ready a flat brush and a little bit of the Onyx acetone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip that flat brush right in the acetone, and we're just going to go along the sidewalls and completely around the whole entire nail and just make sure everything is laying super flat. I'm also tapping on the outside of the decal as well, just to kind of have that decal become one with the nail. This is going to prevent any lifting. If you have any air bubbles or wrinkles, it will also eliminate those. And then I'm just making sure, especially by the cuticle line and the free edge, that everything is just completely sealed in. And then once I'm satisfied with that, I'll just go ahead and just tap everything down. And then that is it for the decal. To seal it up, you're just going to go ahead and do a layer of that gel base over it and cure for 30 seconds, and then just go in with your regular top coat. For me, when I'm using a full coverage decal, this is the best method that works for me. And that Onyx acetone is definitely key. I just feel like it's very forgiving on the decal. I've tried other acetones and it completely destroyed it. There's something magical in that Onyx one. Then to finish up the set today, we're just going to go in with a layer of gel top coat on all the nails and cure for a full 60 seconds. And then here's our finished set. I think it's so beautiful. It's very simple and I love the decal. So if you wanted that decal to be more bright, you could do more layers of that white. But again, I wanted just like that water splash of like watercolor effect on that nail just because these colors are very soft and I still wanted to add a little touch of nail art, but I wanted to show you another way to incorporate a decal on a softer background. But I'm loving how this turned out. The whole simplicity behind this and these beautiful, just light, delicate colors is melting my whole heart. So if you are in the market to try some new dip powders or even decals, definitely check out BrightSpot Nails. I'm telling you, I'm so picky about my decals. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know, and these decals are definitely top notch. So everything we use in today's video can be found in that description box below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one.